Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Labrats. So for the next several weeks we're going to be looking at the biology of plants. The reason that we're going to start looking at the biology of plants is because we can easily grow them in our own home and do a bunch of different things to look at them under a microscope and to explore all the different aspects of what makes a plant and how they, get their grow their tissues and how they get their food and all these different sorts of things. So in your lab kit this week, you will have received 2 cups and some seeds, some bean seeds actually is what they are, and some paper towel. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually plant some seeds or start a seed germinating. So that is the scientific word that means a seed, so a tiny little seed growing into an actual plant. So when they start growing and producing roots from one end and an actual stem and leaves from the other side, that is called germination. So if you've ever ate beans or peas in your life, I'm sure that you've kind of noticed that if you kind of play around with them a little bit, that they can split into 2 different, equally different aspects basically, or like different pieces. Those are the cotyledons. So the cotyledons are basically the food that helps the plant start growing. And then surrounding your little seed, you will have the seed coat, and that's what protects the seed from damage or from anything happening to it. It's basically like a coat of armor for the seed. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are curious as to whether or not plants require sunlight to actually germinate. Do they require sunlight to germinate? So what we're going to do is we're going to take a marker or a crayon or something and write dark on one of these. And then we're going to write light on another one. And then we're going to take our paper towel and we're just going to divide it into pieces like this, and we're going to put it in these cups like this. And you're probably thinking, how in the world is a plant going to grow out of this? But trust me, they will. And I'm going to explain why they can to you in a second, because you think of it and it's like, paper towel doesn't have any nutrients, right? There's nothing in paper towel that would help a seed grow. Well, we're also, there's multiple parts to this experiment. So then you're going to take your little seeds here and you're going to just put them down along the side just like that. Okay, so maybe a couple over here, just like that. And then we're going to put a couple seeds on the dark side, just like that. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put some water in this. We're going to dampen our paper towel and we're going to see what happens. When that paper towel, like it's doing right now, it's kind of collapsed a little bit, then you can put a little bit more on, just like that. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to put one of these in the light, so like against a windowsill or something, and we're going to put one of these in a dark closet somewhere that doesn't have any light. And what we're going to do is we're going to observe these and see if they germinate. So germinate meaning that they actually start to grow, right? They start growing roots from one end and they'll start growing a stem from the other. So the reason why you don't actually need soil or something, you're probably thinking, why wouldn't we use soil? Is because all of the nutrients needed for a seed to start growing are actually contained inside of the seed itself, in those little cotyledons. So I want you to remember the word cotyledon, because when these guys start growing, you're actually going to witness how that actually becomes part of the plant itself. Okay, so keep that in mind. A part of this seed called the cotyledon, which is what keeps that plant, which is what provides the nutrients for that plant, is actually going to become part of the plant itself. All right, so that's all that you guys need to do this week. Next week, we're going to actually come back and look at these and see where we're at with them and what we can observe. And then we're going to start a new experiment based on plants as well. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll see you next week.